Hello. So it looks like I lost connection, so I'm just gonna hang out for a second and hope people show up. Oh dear. I think I'm having difficulties. Oh, hello. Guys, I think my computer is just being weird, so bear with me. I cannot seem to get Chrome to open back up. Okay, so my computer is being weird, and I cannot get Facebook to come up. Do. Okay, there we go. And I'm back. I'm sorry. My computer was being grouchy. It's very windy here, so sometimes the internet kind of goes in and out because of that. So I think that we were talking about Datyon. So Datyon has two different kind of groups that, oh no, did I lose you again? That are organizing supplies. Bear with me. It doesn't want to let me minimize anything. So there is, oh, I'm going to sneeze now. Dayton Sewing Collaborative. So they are based from Goodwill Easter Seals building. If you, I'll pin this back up there. I don't know if they're able to squish the videos back together or not. But there's their Facebook link. And then they are taking drop-offs at the front desk as well as pickup kits. So if you're willing to sew but you don't have the supplies, and if you can safely get there, they are doing pickup kits at the lobby of Goodwill Easter Seals on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 2. And they look like they're specifically using a pattern that requires 100% cotton as well as cotton, what is it called? Fleece as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. Another Dayton area group that is collecting stuff is the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association. So you can check out their Facebook page or you can check out their website, and it has all the details of kind of what they need, the videos, and they are doing drop-offs at St. Vincent de Paul Monday through Friday. This is also Montgomery County when they were saying that they have a stockpile of N95 masks that need repair to bring them into compliance. So they are taking donations of thread, quarter-inch elastic, as well as gallon-sized baggies to kind of repair them. And then do we have any Cincinnati people? If you're from Cincinnati, go ahead and just like so I can see if we have anybody here from Cincinnati. I know there's a little bit of a lag. Okay, so Cincinnati has a group called Sew Mask for Cincinnati. There's all my Cincinnati people. And so they have lots of drop-off locations. So Mason, Cincinnati, Cleves, Florence, 24-hour drop-offs. So they also have multiple different types of masks that they are accepting or style. So there's the N95 kind of cover mask. There's a filter mask as well. And so they just want you to write on top of it with a Ziploc bag and how many of those things you are donating, just so they can keep those in check. And And just a couple other reminders, make sure you're washing your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water before starting to sew. Or if you like cough or anything like that, just make sure that you are keeping your health in mind while sewing these things. They do ask that you wipe down the Ziploc bag with a disinfectant wipe after or before donating, and do not spray the mask with Lysol before bagging. The hospitals will be gathering these things and they'll be distributing them once they've all been sanitized by hospital procedures. So those guys can do that. So I know we have a whole bunch of people from outside Girl Scouts of Western Ohio. Let me see some kind of thumbs up from there. Do you guys, if you guys would comment, do you guys already know where to donate, or do you guys need help looking into ideas where to look for donations? So if you guys could just kind of type that into the chat box. We've got a couple people outside of our viewing area. So if you're not from here, I would just recommend doing kind of a search for any of the different kind of hospitals or healthcare places in your area and just see what they're looking for. A lot of the ones I looked at for Cincinnati, kind of through Toledo area, they have their own specific web page that says how you can help, and it kind of outlines the details. So I would take a look there. I think there's a couple other groups that are kind of compiling needs together and getting them to people who need them or to places that need them. I think one was called like Masks for Heroes, but I couldn't find them, so it's something like that. So there's definitely a lot of people kind of getting this going and moving so that people have adequate face masks supplies. So, let me see. I feel like my computer is being weird again. So if I start freezing, I am very, very sorry. So for those of you who are ready to go and already have kind of your patterns situated and ready to start sewing, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the stuff that you're going to need. So kind of the sewing machine is going to probably be helpful. I'm sure you could hand sew, but that might take forever. So we got your sewing machine. So sorry, there's my cat. You're going to need your cat, but really you're going to probably need the iron, which she is modeling very nicely. A lot of them have I've lost my mask. Kind of pleats that you're going to need to iron down. Pins or little clippies to just keep things in place. There's going to be a lot of really small bindings that you'll be doing. I don't like getting my finger super close to the needle. That might just be me, but I use this little pokey kind of thing to kind of hold it down so I can get a little bit closer without fear of losing that 1/4 inch fold, especially for a lot of the new designs that you're just using fabric to make the ties instead of the elastic. So that thing is my best friend. And then you're going to need, all your scissors. These things are amazing. And I'm just using kind of this binding cut on bias to use to make the ties because I have a ton of it and I don't have any elastic in my house that is younger than I am. There's a stockpile of really old stuff, but it's lost its elasticity and that's not going to be helpful. So I'm just using this, but you can also make your own ties, and each place that you'll be donating to has their own kind of instructions. Let me see if anybody has any comments. I'm not seeing any come through, so that seems good. Your string, your thread should also be 100% cotton based on most of the instructions I've gone through. I haven't read every single instruction for every single place. Most of them are going for 100% cotton everything. Hello, Misty. Thank you. Oh. She hangs out here now. And then you're going to need, obviously, your fabric. I have a ton of fabric that I purchased in a lot, so these are just working really well for me. Lots of fun colors, and one of the people commented to make sure that it's really obvious, the front versus the back. Some of these are covers for those N95 masks. So they're putting it over the mask to just kind of preserve them for a little bit longer. And then I think they can wash these masks again. Don't quote me on that. But just make sure, it might be really pretty to sew them kind of like this, but it will make it really hard to know which side is what. So just make sure that you're making it super obvious, like that this is the front and this is the back. Let's see. Does anybody have any, they say to use interface, should it be thick or thin? I think it depends on what the instructions say. That's a really good question. I would assume whatever you have, probably, if they don't specify thick or thin, anything that you have probably is fine. Anybody have any other questions? Do we have anybody on that's in the health field or nurse or anything like that that would like to add any insight? I'll give it a couple seconds just to kind of, I know there's a lag with comments, but if there's anybody from the health field or a nurse or anyone like that, I'd love to hear kind of your insight into making these guys. So it doesn't look like I have any comments. Boop. I feel like I probably lost a lot of people when my internet went out for that second. But yeah, basically I would just go to a website of your healthcare kind of facilities in your area, get their instructions. A lot of them already have really nice videos of sewing. Hello, Misty. And how they specifically want it. Everybody, even just in our area from Toledo to Cincinnati, there's, you know, I showed you, I think, pinned 5 different healthcare facilities, and each one has their own kind of version of what they want. So I would just kind of check out what they want, and then donate. I know that we've had a lot of girls that are already making a whole bunch in our council and have already started donating, and they're having a lot of fun just kind of practicing their sewing skills as well, and just doing something. Hello, Misty, honey. I don't think they want cat all over their masks. Just having a lot of fun kind of sewing and being able to help in some way, because we are kind of in our whole social isolation situation, and it's just really nice to be able to feel like you're doing something good and helping kind of through the situation. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk through today. I can't find my mask that I started because I was going to show it to you. I think my cat might have kidnapped. Oh, there it is. Gosh. So I haven't finished this guy yet. This is kind of the N95 cover, kind of like this. So I'm kind of, all I have to do is go ahead and finish up the sides and put on the ties, and then I'll have my first one kind of ready to rock and roll. This one is a slightly harder pattern. Let me find where. Printed it off right kind of here. It was a little harder, so you kind of fold it in half, cut it, and then you would sew these sides up after you do your pleats. But there are lots of patterns that are just starting with a square and kind of going from there, and they're a little bit easier to make. Let me see if we've had anybody else in anything. Oh, okay, so Christina, make sure to join the email list for where you want to donate. We are in a couple hospital lists. One still wants N95 covers, while others want the surgical style now. That's a really good point, Christina. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so just if you're planning on donating, get on the email list, and they'll kind of keep you up to date with what their needs are. I'm sure there's quite a few Girl Scout troops as well as sewing groups that are just kind of making a ton of these. And so as their needs change, they'll keep you up to date with what they're needing. So thank you guys so much for joining. Check out what your hospitals need and start sewing. Thank you.